celebrities can change and persuade people to do tremendous things. So it's like if you have a bunch of Hollywood types that say that we should try to kick Gavin Newsom out, the loudness of that is far more significant than any volume that could ever come out of.
So let me play this clip for you guys from Jimmy Kimmel.
It's very good to see you. I heard you had to evacuate your home.
Yes. Like most people, I had to. I got lucky, the winds moved, but, the fire was coming and all that stuff. So I feel lucky.
Are you guys back in?
And I think everybody did a great job.
Sure you did.
Unlike the internet,
Yeah, right. I know. It's right.
Oh, my God.
Can you say that when it's not even done?
Exactly.
Why didn't you just fly a helicopter into the ocean and then just, I don't know, because there was 100-knot winds? You want to do that? You want to do that at night, you lunatic?
I don't know. Maybe we could put water in the fire hydrants. That's just an idea.
That seems like a good start.
Bill Burr, the man who admitted he doesn't actually read the news.
How are you?
This was definitely mismanaged.
That's a big word we're hearing now.
Mismanaged, like some idiot on the internet knows how to manage the worst fire in L.A. sitting there in his underwear.
I mean, I'm wearing a hoodie, but I would start with putting water in the fire hydrant.
Having a reservoirs filled, that's not that hard.
I would hire firefighters.
Sure.
These are not you may not be aware, but firefighters are people who you hire to fight the fires. I would have enough of them.
It's your classic example of, what an idiot. What do you pay attention to the news, you loser? It's so much cooler to just sit at home and do absolutely nothing and just run away when they tell me or put on my diaper on my face when they tell me.
I mean, you know what? Looking at the footage on the internet, I have determined that this here was mismanaged.
It's like,
so this is the thing.
This guy's so dumb.
First, I want to stress that when we looked up the ratings for Jimmy Kimmel, and I saw that his key demo ratings was 221,000. We're about just on the live show at 2.5 times that. I felt bad, punching down on a little guy like Jimmy Kimmel.
That's what they say. Don't punch down, right? It's
I sorry about that, Jimmy. I know you're an up-and-coming young star with your tiny little show. I'm actually gloating because I'm so happy to see the failures of these networks, because what Bill Burr is doing, and he is a funny guy, okay? When he was on Joe Rogan talking about how people need to wear masks outside, he was still very funny because he made fun of rollerblading.
Knuckles dragging.
That was really good. That was really, and it's for you, Brett.
Yeah.
He was like, he said, it's like everybody rollerbladed and there was one homophobic joke and 100 million people threw their rollerblades in the ocean. That's actually really good. But he says in that, and then Joe, he says something like, Joe, you wouldn't do it. You don't get the body for it. Your knuckles would be dragging as you go. He's a funny guy. But the problem I have with this, everything he's saying is presented in a very comedic way, which makes you want to laugh. The problem is, it's not a joke. He's not saying, here's a bit I've prepared. He's literally saying the internet is wrong. The fire was managed properly, when it literally was not.
I mean, I think it's pretty clear that they didn't have water.
There's no water in the fire hydrant.
Yeah, like, how can you say, oh, it was managed properly? And if you want to specify that it's not the fault of, or the blame doesn't fall on the firefighters, absolutely, 100%. I'm right there with you. The blame does fall on the governor, and it falls on the mayor of LA, the people that have decided to not pick up the deadfall in the forest and not essentially clean the forest so that way this stuff doesn't happen. Like, that is part of what their job is by being the stewards of California, right? Like, California is a desert. Everyone knows it. They don't get a lot of rain normally. Like, they're going to have forest fires. There's a lot of brush. Like, that stuff's gonna happen. And if you're elected to public office, it is your job to do whatever you can do to mitigate the risk and make sure that when there is forest fires, because they're going to happen to some degree, when there is a forest fire, that there's water in the fire hydrants.
And the fire chief said herself that they were understaffed and ill-equipped to handle it. So it's just like your own people from the inside are literally saying it.
And California has Silicon Valley It has the all of Hollywood, which granted Hollywood's not doing what it was doing 20 years ago, but they still make boatloads of money. The tax base in California is not a problem. They have the 5th biggest economy on earth. There is not a problem with money. Right. It is not a problem with they can't find the money. You go and you ask Tim Cook, and Tim Cook will write a check and donate it and say, you know what? Okay, here, this will be a great write-off, and this will be a great PR stunt. Here's a bunch of money for the firefighters in LA or in Southern California. That's something that Apple would do just for chuckles. And you have multiple gigantic companies. There was a time where Apple had more cash than the federal government. What? That was a real thing. So it's not like the tax base isn't there. It's not like the money isn't there to do these things. It's mismanagement because you had single party rule, so nobody was pushing back on anyone else. Nobody said, "Hey,
it's an echo chamber.
Check that out." Yeah, exactly. It's an echo chamber, and nobody was saying, "Look, we need to make sure these things are being taken care of."
There's no checks and balances. Ever.
None.
They build a light rail to nowhere.
Wait, they did?
Well, yeah.
Not to change subject.
They got one section done.
It's just an example of just government mismanagement and their inability to actually hold checks and balances to show that the projects that are getting such heavy funding are actually being completed. Right?
I also, real quick, I heard the president or the LA mayor is not the mayor of the Palisades, and there's other counties who are their mayors. No one's holding those folks accountable. We're just focusing on the LA mayor. Each town, each area has their own mayor, so we should just call them all out.
Maybe the question that he should have asked Bill Burr, and this is of course the problem with these types of shows, is it's not a news show, it's a comedy show, and they blend the two however poorly they do because they're not actually funny, is to say, well, if not having water isn't mismanagement, what would you have considered the threshold for actual mismanagement? Or do you just let appeal to authority win and just say, oh, they must be doing fine?
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.